What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Modern Mortgage Show, where I interview mortgage professionals who share their stories and modern information about the industry. I'm your host, Rocco, and I'm happy to introduce my guest. His name is Greg Giniel, and he's the president at Giniel Financial Group out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Greg,
Hey,
welcome to the show.
hey, Rocco, thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you coming on today. So, Greg, why don't we start off the show? Just basically, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and give us a brief introduction of who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I started in southeastern Michigan. I started in the industry in 2003. Became a loan officer in 2006. Went full time in 2008. I could not pick a hand. Can't pick a better time to go as a full time loan officer in the crash of 2008. But it actually makes going through this much easier this time around. So,
Mhm.
um, and I've been a branch manager for a couple of correspondent lenders in the past. And then in 2016, I opened up my own company, and we have a team of six. We have a team of six now.
Awesome. So you got your start in 2003. Did you do any type of work before you got into the industry?
Yeah, I was actually went to school for criminal justice. So,
Hmm.
and I was, heading in that career, and I thought a fringe benefit should not be being shot at. So I decided to take the less risky route and get into mortgages.
So is there anything in particular that made you want to get into the mortgage industry?
Well, I think, I don't think anyone grows up thinking, oh, I'd like to write mortgages for a living, right? And my mom has been in title since before I was born, so 40 plus years. And I listened to her all the time back when we had the old brick phones that you'd hook up in the car, you'd hook up the antenna, like that old school. And I'd listen to her talk about deals all the time. And finally, I thought, back in 2003, I'd like to get into that more so than what I was doing at the time.
Awesome. So you said you got your start in 2003, but you became a loan officer in 2006.
Yeah, so I was doing witness only closings. So, for instance, if someone had a refinance late at night at client's house, I would just show up with the closing package, show them where to sign, notarize everything, and then ship it back. 2005 and 2006, I started to see all the garbage loans come through, option arms, people not understanding what they were getting into, uh, really high prepayment penalties. And people would joke like, "Oh, it's not like I'm going to hit the lottery tomorrow to pay it off," and that would be nice. Well, you can't sell your house either without paying that prepayment penalty. And then I had some real loan officers that just they didn't care about the client. And they call, "Oh, thanks, thanks for saving that deal for me. I owe you a steak dinner." Ha ha ha. I'm like, whatever, dude. They were just screwing over the client. I knew I could treat people better than that. So that's what my real why I got into the business was. I wanted to treat people and help them with their mortgage and understand exactly what was going on at the time.
Definitely. So you said you were a branch manager for different companies. What made you really want to start your own in 2016?
Uh, you know, so I want to grow this company nationwide, and I realized the company I was with, really good company, great people, absolutely loved everyone there. But sometimes management would end up making a decision that would affect my paycheck right away, and wouldn't affect their bottom line until the next quarter, and I'd have to go and fight with them. They put in items like needing lead water tests on FHA mortgages. I'm going, guys, no one else is doing this. You're making it harder for people to pass referrals to us. And I just figured, and I have an entrepreneur spirit. And so at that point in time, I self-sourced all my leads anyway. I always have. I've never had any lead gen at that point. And so I said, well, I can do this. And if I'm going to screw up, it's going to be my fault. So
Hmm.
I went started in 2000 March of 2016, and I've grown it from there.
So you wanted to be 100% in control.
Yes and no. I I would like to I'd like to be in the decision making process. We have a leadership team that we put in place now that has really helped out. When you're a small business, I wear many different hats, and it becomes a little bit cumbersome. Uh, but not so much 100% in control, but to have a say in where we're heading. I'm more of a visionary type person anyway. I know where we're heading, um, and it came it came to pass that I realized that if someone else was going to make a mistake, and if I was going to leverage their company, but they were to make a mistake, it would directly affect what I was trying to build.
Hmm.
And so at that point, I decided not. And actually, I that ended up helping me out really well because that company ended up being absorbed by another company. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I am extremely happy with the decision I made 4 years ago, and I probably should have made it about 4 years previous to that. So
That's awesome. So, as we all are aware, we're in a very weird time and situation as of right now. So, what are you guys doing right now to get through this disruption and uncertain period of time?
I what we're doing is we're just grinding away. Obviously we're working from different locations. I'm outside. I'm actually in Florida today. My whole family's been down here, so I'm kind of writing this out in Florida.
Hmm.
But we're all working, right? I mean, we're doing exactly what we're doing now. Everything through video. Um, the way we've actually set up the whole company, we all, as soon as this started to hit, we all said, "All right, let's just work from home," and we haven't missed a beat, not 1 second. And our lenders have done the same as well. How we're grinding through this is just we're keeping in contact with each other. We have a daily meeting every day, and we talk to our loan officers just 15 minutes. Hey, where are you at? What do you need help with? Is there something that you need additional help with? And then so we're doing that, and then just additional marketing. We're talking to realtors and starting a house hunter style Facebook um, type show, uh, just to keep them engaged, keep us engaged, and to keep buyers engaged. I think Rocco, when we come out of this, it's going to be just slammed to the wall. 12, 15-hour days. It, it the demographics are there for it. So, and we're trying to position ourselves in a way where we can actually grow through this. We're not having a lot of the liquidity issues and capacity issues that mid-sized lenders are having. So we're just positioning ourselves in a way to actually bring more people on.
Absolutely, I 100% would agree with that. So, we touched on this earlier. You said that from 2003 to 2006, you were helping people and saving deals, and that's something that you take really personal is being able to help people. What would you say at your company is the most what gives you the most satisfaction or most rewarding thing about your job?
Rocco, so it's kind of funny that you're asking that. We've instituted a program called EOS, and I would tell anyone out there that is starting a company to do that and do that as quickly as possible. And we created core values, but our real passion and our purpose is that we are trying to provide the opportunity for people to have a better opportunity for a better tomorrow. And that means our clients and our people that we work with.
Hmm.
And that's our real passion. At the end of the day, when I sit and I close my eyes and I think about, and just try to listen, to meditate, whatever, I hear the words build. You have to build this, and to make it to give people the opportunity to have a better tomorrow. And so that's what we're really about. So we're doing everything we can to help our loan officers. It's not about the money. If it was just about the money, I would cut all my overhead, have my pipeline manager and we would be making buku bucks every month. and I wouldn't have any overhead.
Hmm.
Um, but it's not about that. It's about building something bigger than what we are.
Absolutely. Impact is definitely impact over money.
Yeah, I one of the things I love in people quote Steve Jobs all the time, but I want to leave my dent in the universe. I want to definitely leave this place better than it was when I got here. So and there's only certain skills that I have, and this is one of them. So that's my medium.
That's great. So shifting gears here, what would you say were your biggest struggles going back to 2006 when you became a loan officer, and even in 2016 when you started your own company? What were your biggest struggles or obstacles you faced early on?
Oh, I think the biggest struggle in 2006 is just knowing what to do, right? There's no school for this. This
Hmm.
is back in 2006. You didn't have to be licensed, and so you could get anyone could get a job being a loan officer. And here's your business cards, and here's a rate sheet. Here's a slap on the butt. Go get. Good luck, Chuck. Go get them. And we'll train you when the deal comes in, and you go, okay. And so there's a lot of fake until you make it. And I think that it's a shame that the industry is like that. But I don't think there hasn't been a good way to, because this industry is changing all the time, and deals change. They're like snowflakes. Not one is the same.
Hmm.
So learning all of that while trying to learn how to market, and you have to do at that point you have to do two jobs. It's to be a loan officer is one job, and to be a marketing master is completely something different. And I think that you know the way I did it, it was all through actually BNI, Business Network International, where it was belly to belly in referrals, and I really cut my teeth in that. And one of the things I did early on is I started a group. I started a chapter, and what that did was is that gave me instant credibility amongst the people that were in that chapter. And so because I was leading them, I found myself at 26 leading people that were in their 40s. And I'm going, okay, this is kind of weird, but whatever. But it gave me opportunity to get in front of their clients, without having to prove all my knowledge in the mortgage sector of things, and which I did. I continually learn and hone my skills. So that was the biggest thing, was trying to learn how to market and learn the job at the same time.
Hmm.
And you're going to mess up. You're just going to mess up. And I think one of the best ways to do that is just say, hey, I'm human. We all make mistakes. This is what happened. We didn't catch this. And I guarantee when you do that, a couple of things happen. People go, this is he's human just like I am, and I guarantee you don't make that mistake again. You learn really quickly not to make that mistake again.
Absolutely. So let's say you were talking to yourself now, you're talking to your younger self, or even just a loan officer coming up. What advice would you give to yourself or a loan officer just starting out?
I would say don't be tentative. I would say, get out there. Don't worry about. I would do it on video. I would, now with the way the thing, in 2006, it was different, right? But I would utilize video as much as possible. I wouldn't worry about how your voice sounds. I wouldn't worry about what you look like. The content is what is really going to matter at that point. And so I would get out as much as possible. I would network as much as possible, and I would just tell people what you're doing and why you're doing it. I think the why is much more important than the how. Because if you're coming from a place of service, if you're coming from a place of wanting to help people, with good intentions, I think that that's going to shine through. And if you like, I've had interviews with people, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I got all these deals. I got another $20,000 in income coming in from this guy. I got this other deal, and man, I'm gonna slam them hard, dude. You ain't for us. We don't ever talk about the money. We talk about how do we service the client. Clients come first. It's one of our core values, and so we don't talk about the money. We don't even think about it. I would rather, make nothing on a deal and help someone out, and make sure that we put their family in a better position than, slamming someone and making all sorts of dough.
For sure. And you bring up video. So in recent years, and like you said, times have changed since you started. Technology has really made its way into the industry. So how would you say this has affected you and your business?
I will tell you, if you're not doing it, your competitors are going to pass you up. You know, and I think that, people that have been in the business, I there's technology that I haven't utilized, and if you're not taking advantage of it, you will have people that just get into the business and they're going to make, buku bucks, more than you are. They're going to close more deals than you are, they're going to pass you up. So, I would tell people, don't relax, because there's other people, marketing to your database, and so, I would definitely start to utilize video for sure.
Absolutely. Now, no matter how long you've been in the industry, you should always be adapting and evolving. So, are there any modern strategies that you guys are using and taking advantage of that's maybe helping you to scale your production, maintain better relationships, or just organize and systemize your business in a more effective way?
Yeah, I would tell, to kind of get back to the question that you had, previous to this, uh, that, what would you tell yourself, uh, starting out? Is set up a database. Set up a database. Keep the database. Use a CRM. You, make sure that you are marketing to your database. A lot of my clients right now are past clients,
Hmm.
and, what we're doing now is we're utilizing technology to, keep in front of people. We're using video to, bomb video, that sort of thing, to get in front of, people in their emails, and let them know, hey, still doing mortgages, right? I still write mortgages. I'm not completely out of it, yet. And so to make sure that you, these are people that already know, like, and trust you, they had a good experience with you, and why not leverage that? So why not help them, or help them remember you?
Hmm.
And, a lot of times, I mean, we have people that I've helped their whole family now. So the technology, there's other things. I make sure that you're getting, reviews. Make sure you're getting, good Google reviews. I wouldn't waste my time on Zillow. Zillow is my competitor at this point. They have, a mortgage company. But I would be, making sure I got good Google reviews, good Facebook reviews, and 5 stars. And that's something that we've just focused on, Rocco. In the past 12 months, we had five, reviews, on Google, and now we have 57, in the last 12 months. And it's starting to generate more and more calls. Why
Hmm.
not? Why not let the people that we help sing our praises? And you don't have to sell yourself at that point. Other people are doing it for you. But again, it's all about taking care of the client and making sure that they have a good experience. Because otherwise, if you're just slamming them one and done, you're spinning your wheels. You're wasting your time.
Absolutely. It's crucial to maintain your relationships with your past clients. If you're not doing that, someone else is going to take them. And because the average loan can result in 4 to 5 more transactions. So if you don't maintain those relationships, then they're going to be going off to someone else. And you did say you haven't completely gotten away from writing mortgages. You've done it and you still do a little bit, you said?
Yeah, I do. I write mortgages. I have an LOA that, assists me. He's more like a pipeline manager.
Mhm.
He joined the company about 6 months after we started, and he's been, a tremendous, asset to the team. And then, yeah, so, but the way we're set up is, our guys, they go out and sell. We don't have our loan officers collecting documents, they collect the initial documents, but they don't collect, any conditions. It's a waste of their time. It's a waste of their talent. Go out and talk to other people. Go out and get another sale. Especially when that was most important was when we had interest rates drop down into the high twos. And all, I mean, you can't keep up, and all you're doing is originating, and you turn in a deal, and I don't have to worry about, um, you know, is Susie collecting the conditions or whomever, um, you know, we have a system in place that is happening. I would tell you, you have to systemize your file flow as
Yeah.
much as possible, and automate it as much as possible. So we utilize a system called Lotusoft. The guys are out of Michigan. They're great. I would definitely tell Greg Martin, give him a call over at Lotusoft. I get no money from them whatsoever, but they really helped us really systemize our file flow, and that way you just go out and sell. Man, I like talking, as you can tell. I like, shaking hands and kissing babies, not shaking babies and kissing hands. Yeah, yeah. Shaking hands and kissing babies, and and have a good time with it. But let someone else do, more of the detailed work. I'm going to tell you, most of our loan officers in this industry, we have shiny object syndrome. Like, oh, there's a shiny object, and off we go, and we're salespeople. Do what you're good at, sales. Let someone else do the detailed work.
100%. Definitely, you should have SOPs, standard operating procedures. So you're once you get that sale, you're ready off to the next sale, and then just moves down the line of fulfillment. But last question here. Let's go to the buyer side now. What do you see as the biggest misconception or fear, if I should say, that you see clients have before they work with your company?
That's tough because all most of our stuff is a referral based anyway.
Hmm.
A lot of that fear is taken away. I would tell you, if you're going to build off of referrals, when someone passes that referral to you, they're passing their trust onto you. Now, do whatever you can not to break that trust. Once you break that trust, it's very difficult to get that back. And so, from people that we end up, just having call in, I think it's just the, I, I think they just don't know what to ask, and they feel foolish for asking certain questions. And so, and I tell everyone, even if I have a new realtor that we're working with, I tell, hey, ask me any question. Feel free to be a resource. I it you're not going to ask a dumb question. One of the things that I did not like about the industry when I got into it was people made you feel small because you didn't know something. And how do you know if you don't ask? And so, I tell people all the time, if you have a question, it may seem like the silliest question to you, or it might be a counterintuitive to ask me. And sometimes you asking me that question saves us a tremendous amount of headache in the future. And so I think people just don't know what they ask. Most people just go, they call you up and they go, what's your rate? Well, they're asking you what your rate is because they don't understand what to ask. And I come back and go, well, we have all sorts of rates, but what's your goals? I mean, if your goal is to pay something off in as fast as possible, then let's look at a 15-year as opposed to a 30. Or if you have a lot of debt, let's become debt managers. Let's go and help them understand how we can utilize a 30-year fixed mortgage and create an extra 11 or $1,200 per month in savings, and still show them how to pay their house off faster than 10 years. So there's a lot there, and I would say, what's your goal? Not not what's in it for me, but how can I help you? And
Hmm.
once you get into that conversation of how can I help you? What are your goals? What do you really want to see? What do you see your future? Great. Now I can start to craft a mortgage that's going to help you get there.
Yeah, definitely. The art of being a loan officer is also educating them, advising them throughout the process from start to finish.
Absolutely. And that's, I and it's great. Some of my clients, I have one right now. I helped her 2 years ago, and it was funny. She had an FHA mortgage because that's what they had to use at that point in time. and she called me to refinance. I would call her quite a bit, and so she finally called me back, and she sent me over her mortgage statement. And I went back and I looked at my CD from 2 years ago, and I noticed there was like they paid off like 30 or 40 thousand dollars, and I'm sitting there, I'm trying to think, I'm like, what? How did that happen? And so I called her up, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I've been making double payments." I go, "Well, that's awesome. Let's see if that's your goal. Then let's see how we can make that even better."
Mm-hmm.
And we're refinancing her into a shorter term to for her to meet her goals. So and I'll tell you, I was so happy for her, and I almost kind of embarrassed her. I said, "Yeah, I'm so happy that you're doing so well because I want to see all my past clients do really well."
That's amazing, and that's the goal.
Nope, I think I lost audio.
Can you hear me?
No, what happened there?
I can hear you.
I'm sorry about this, Rocco. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? We're just about over. That was the end. I was about to call the show. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Well, Greg can't hear us, but I was just about to call the show. So, Greg, I really want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I had an amazing time talking with you. I really appreciate your time. And to all the viewers, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next episode.